Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game 1 of a best of 1. It's going to be played out on Star Station. And up in the top left hand position, spawning as the Red Zerg from Team Evil Geniuses, it's Stephano. And his opponent in the bottom right, the Blue Terran. Representing Team Liquid, we have TaeJa, who interestingly has hockeyed everything to his command center. I love the way some players do that. It's just always a cool little thing in my opinion that some players just like to just hockey it to everything and then just change as they go along. Other people like Stephano have very specific hotkeys. Hatchery on 4, Overlord on 3, 2 drones for making stuff. Sitting there on 1 and 2, so that's all pretty cool. It's always interesting, I find, looking at different players' hockey setups. You can learn a lot from it, and I know some people overanalyze it for the best way to make it work, but frankly, I am a big believer that it's up to individual preference, and some players are going to do it different ways. Like some people hockey up their main building up to 4, some to 5, some to 6. It's whichever you feel most comfortable with, size of hands, that sort of thing, blah blah blah. And also hockey setup, that makes a big difference. But anyway, I went a bit off topic there. Stephano v TaeJa, this is gonna be awesome. Seriously, this is gonna be such a good game. Again, I'm assuming that. I haven't watched it. It could be terrible. Like, it could just be they both AFK for 10 minutes, and then one comes back and be like, lol, I thought the game was over, and then they leave. That would be pretty poor. But I don't think so. I think from these two, we should get a pretty good quality game and a lot of fun. And it's also another ZvT. What is it with matchups? And they just sort of, they come like 6 at a time. Like, I'll be like, I haven't cast much Terran recently. I really need to find some more Terran games. And then suddenly it'll be like, wow, there's so many Terran games right now. And it's just always that way. TVP is the next game I need to cast quite a bit of, I reckon, because I've been neglecting that slightly, or at least it seems that way. I get confused because I cast lots of live events and lots of stuff on my YouTube channel, and I'm just like, well, where have I casted things that have different matchups and blah 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 blah. Confusion. And I'm a simple person because I'm a caster, and as you all know, we can't be trusted with making any form of brackets, creating games, or even obsing. Like, they've even replaced our job of observation now. We have someone dedicated to that because we're simple. We can just about talk and string sentences together. It's a difficult task though. I am gonna say that much. If you've never tried casting, you really should give it a go, just for the fun of it, because it is good fun. It's not that easy, but it is good fun. Anyway, Reaper coming down here from TaeJa. Gonna go Reaper expand. Very normal. Stephano, he's just sitting there. He's like, well, hatch, pull, gas, all good. What I want, gonna get Zergling speed up, gonna be happy. 4 Zerglings coming up preemptively from Stephano as well. He's rallying them just straight to his opponent's natural. None of these defensive Zerg plays here, just like I'm gonna go kill him with my 4 Zerglings if I can. 4 Zerglings are gonna be met by a Reaper first though. Spore quarter being made just to make sure that, of course, the drone doesn't die. You want to keep that up. The Reaper taking quite a few hits, actually, and that's quite frustrating. Ooh, this next drone has to be careful. May have to become an extractor. There we go. The Queen coming out, though, should be able to start pushing this back. The injects need to come down. There we go. And now the Queen's job after injecting is just making sure this Reaper doesn't do anything. TaeJa did only get 2 Reapers out. The second one just poking his way up here into the main base. Gonna try and kill a couple more drones. 2 Reapers is where you want to be forcing some Zerglings. You want to be picking off some Zerglings or some drones, because otherwise it ain't really worth it. Where even is the second Reaper? It's just sitting here down in the watchtower for some reason. Not quite sure what he's doing. Clearly didn't get the memo that he's meant to be attacking, so his buddy just sitting here. But what this does achieve is good map awareness for TaeJa, who's busy getting out his 3rd CC really early on. So he's using the map control granted by that Reaper harassment in order to go very economical, knowing that Stephano is sitting back and being quite defensive. He hasn't seen anything scary. Speed's coming out, but the drones were pulled out of gas, so it's purely for speed, not seeing any quick roaches, any quick baneling busts or things of those nature, and that means TaeJa can afford to get this 3rd CC down. Probably won't float down admittedly for quite a while to this position, just because this is quite awkward to hold. He'll probably keep it up in his main base, or able to command it, produce a few additional SCVs and mules, and then float it down at the later stages. But Stephano, he's getting up his 3rd nice and quick. That was about 6 minutes 10, so nice and early, 3rd base there. Good response, even though he hasn't scouted anything from TaeJa. He just knows that he needs to get down pretty soon. He doesn't actually even know that the natural's here, because while he can't... Oh no, he can. He can just see it if he's looked, because the mineral patches are glowing. pro tip there. You can tell that even if you can't see workers there. Double evolution chamber wall off at the natural coming down to make sure pesky Hellions don't come in your base, killing your drones, because that's annoying. Stephano also has a decent number of Zerglings, 20 on the field, and notice the positioning of them at the watchtower and also to the side here, ready for when these Hellions come through to go, peekaboo, I'm coming from behind, in they come, gonna try and get the surround on the Hellions. Can he pick them off? Well, Stephano doing an amazingly good job here. 1 goes down, 2 is gonna go down, 3 definitely gonna die. 3 Hellions go down for the cost of no Zerglings at all. Brilliant trade there for Stephano, shutting that out so easily, and now it's actually going to come in for a little bit of counter pressure, pushing in. These Hellions and Reapers have got surrounded, and that means they're probably all going to die. Stephano pulling back the Zerglings on, which aren't doing anything, just to get them out of range of the flames, and that's a smart thing to do. The Reapers now also getting surrounded. Stephano being ridiculously cost effective, but 2 Marauders are in that bunker. The wall off is complete, so he can't actually come in and start going for some counter-attacking. If he had a Baneling Nest, then yes, he could have just punched through that and potentially have won the game. But if he had a Baneling Nest, there's other things that wouldn't have occurred. 1-1 upgrades are coming down. Lair is coming down here too for Stephano. His third base now up. His creep spread just getting going. Not really anything too amazing, but when you've had Hellions and Reapers out on the map, getting good creep spread is an awkward thing to do. TaeJa, with Stim nearly done, is adding on these 4 additional barracks. Just going to be trying to really pump out a good number of infantry units. He doesn't actually get that many Widow Mines every time I've seen him play ZvT, and instead just opts to get a good number of Marines and Marauders down, which is quite different to how a lot of Terran players are currently playing it, where they go very mine heavy. That biomine style exceptionally popular, and it's always exciting to see players just not go with a standard mold. It makes it a bit more exciting to watch the games. But anyway, Baneling Nest is now coming down here. Stephano's lair nearly finished up. It's going to be most likely Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisk. It's the most common strategy up against Terran, but this is Stephano we're watching. And he does sometimes do some funny stuff, and there's the Infestation Pit. As I say, some funny stuff could be coming out. Is it going to be Infestors? Probably. Some good fungal quotes would be fairly devastating to the infantry heavy composite. As I look at Hellions, the infantry heavy composition that TaeJa is going towards, and that would mean that he can lock it down. Also, he's got the option to go Swarm Host and up to a quick Hive for that quick rush up into Ultras, which is also very nice to see. Now, of course, in we come. The Zerglings trying to get this around, not doing as well as they did earlier on, but still picking off a decent amount. Remember, of course, Stephano only losing minerals, and he can afford to throw away Zerglings to some extent, as long as he's not losing his drones. But his drone count isn't even spectacularly high, and all of these Hellions are taking a lot of damage. Only 1 remains, and it's about to die. So that means once again, Stephano retaking that map control. There's the super quick Hive, Pathogen Lands coming down. So yeah, that quick, very fastly upgraded, very quick tech up into Ultras and Infestors is going to be en route for Stephano. It's a very nice strategy against Terran. I think it works exceptionally well, especially when they don't commit too heavily to mines, because the Zerglings can still be ridiculously effective against pretty much everything. So, in terms of mines, TaeJa doesn't actually have a single one out yet. His first 2 only just in production. These Zerglings still trying to poke and prod. Remember, 1-1 upgrades are done for Stephano, and only just this second kicking in for TaeJa, the 4th base up, so Stephano's still staying a base above his opponent. Very close game. Both players losing similar amounts. Stephano down slightly actually in the worker count, which means that the economy for TaeJa is better. Stephano needs to actually get a big drone wave, but opting not to, instead getting out 22 more Zerglings, playing it aggressively, which is fine if he was being either cost effective or damaging his opponent's economy. Unfortunately, he's doing neither of those things. He's losing more than TaeJa is, and also TaeJa hasn't lost a single worker this game. Stephano hasn't either, to be fair, but Stephano also isn't just droning as heavily. He's got 8 more drones on the way out now, which is going to help, trying to saturate up this 4th base. But look at the push from TaeJa, it's making its way forward. The Queen does die a horrible, agonizing death, but Baneling's starting to roll forward. Can they get the connections that are needed? The answer is no, they can't. TaeJa splits just too good, and that results in Stephano having to sit back defensively. He needs this Ultralisk cavern down, but remember, even when it's done, Ultras take an astronomically long amount of time in order to be completed. Stephano is in a bit of trouble here. He's got the Infestors coming in, can get some good Fungals, and the Fungals are spectacular. Will be able to clean up those Marines now with the aid of these Zerglings. But not really the sort of position that Stephano wants to be in, because the rallying of troops is just going to keep coming forward. There's 1 more fungal growth remaining, and it's got to be a good fungal growth too, and that's why Stephano's just waiting for this army to clump up as best he can. Widow Mines are here. That's going to mean the Zerglings less effective, more Zerglings popping out. So the Ultimate Cavern is done, 2-2 upgrades about to kick in for Stephano where he gets ahead. But remember, 55 seconds until these ultras are actually going to be spawning. And that, of course, is terrifying to see because the 4th base has died. Stephano is really holding on for dear life. Now, he's retaking the 4th down to the south left position. But in with the banelings, these Marines are taking a lot more fire now. The infestors haven't even had to fungal, I don't think, since those first few, but they are about to get caught out of position. They've got to be careful. They're running straight into this army, not what you really want to be doing. The infestors need to be kept alive to bank up the energy to warrant their exceptionally high gas cost, but Zerglings are slowly forcing this back. Stephano gaining a bit more control, but TaeJa, just with what seems to be a never-ending push, making his way forward. Unfortunately, the first ultra is about to pop. The second ultra about to pop out, but still, 2 Ultralisks is not a huge number. That is not a game-ending force right there. And also without the 4th base, remember Stephano, he's only 4 workers ahead. TaeJa with the mules has got a better economy. The Ultras moving forward, they're going to try and soak up as much of this Widow Mine damage as they can. The Overseer, one goes down, but luckily one staying up at the back, but good little Widow Mine hits are coming down. Stephano's still losing about 1,200 more resources than that of TaeJa, but the Mutalisks would really be helpful here in order to pick off the medevacs. But Stephano, with these ultras, going to be trying to push in. But look, TaeJa already producing a good number of marauders. The transfuses have to be great. And without the fungal growth, this infantry can just kite the ultras for what seems like an eternity. 4 more are on their way out. The 3-3 upgrades and chitinous plating all getting researched. Chitinous plating has actually finished now, so those ultras are a bit more beefy, able to tank up a bit more damage, but are they able to deal enough damage? That's the important thing. More marauders getting out on the field. The marauder count now up to 8. TaeJa does need to get a few more out to deal with these ultras, especially with Stephano committing so heavily to them. But nonetheless, creep getting pushed back. The 4th base has been discovered by this drop and is therefore going to take some damage. Ultra is going to come down and try and save the day, but a single Ultralisk in this position against this many units, well, it's not going to be able to save that hatchery. It will fall in. Stephano back down to 3 bases. He's trying to push in the center of the map against this force from TaeJa, but TaeJa just seems to be everywhere. He's just got this train of units rallied across the map at all times and slowly working apart, consolidating his units, keeping them alive, conserving them as best as possible. And yeah, this is Ultras trying to om-nom their way through, but without the fungal growth from the infestors, not able to close down the distance, and that's the problem. Transfuses coming down on the Ultralisks as quickly as possible. Stephano needing to keep them up to deal with the damage. Another good fungal growth there, and with the 4 Ultras, this push should be able to get closed down, but TaeJa just still rallying units across, slowly retreating towards his reinforcements, but Stephano looks to be slowly getting it under control, but every time he does, another wave of units come in from TaeJa. The Zerglings dealing some nice damage in small numbers. Infantry do not trade against these Zerglings well. Plus 3-3 about to kick in. It is just 20 seconds away from completion, and Stephano needs that 3-3 so ridiculously badly. The medevac count, though, that's the thing which is getting to be awkward. 9 medevacs are down, soon to be 11, and without Mutalisk, without anti-air, Stephano just has no way to prevent that. He's on 3 bases still, and that means his economy is not as good as that of TaeJa's. The Ultras have got to do so much work, but they're slowly dying as the transfuses aren't there, but so is the infantry. This game, ridiculously close still. I think it's slightly in TaeJa's favour at the moment, like, just due to having the better army supply and the better income. But that can quickly change, especially if this planetary fortress gets taken out. Stephano, with the 3-3 upgrades now, has a small window before 3-3 is done. Plus 3 weapons is finished for TaeJa, but plus 3 armor is not quite there yet. But there's only 40 seconds until that's complete. And to be honest, I think even with 20 banelings, it could be tough. The banelings are going to come rolling in. Can this planetary fortress and all the SCVs get killed? Will the Ultras trying to move in too? But the planetary fortress hitting it first, and there it does get taken out. Stephano leveling out the base count once again, but TaeJa, he just doesn't seem to care. Building 2 command centers where 1 died. It's like he is the green piece of the, well, planetary fortress forest. Whenever 1 gets chopped down, puts 2 up in its place, and TaeJa still applying the pain, still dropping. These Zerglings apparently didn't get the memo that they should be trying to stop these drops, but that's because all of Stephano's attention is at his main, where there's some more units coming in, units coming across the map. TaeJa is just everywhere at once. This has just been essentially a near constant push for the last really 9 minutes, and the trouble for Stephano is he's trying to deal with that. He's trying to be everywhere at once, get up a sizable critical mass of units, and just cannot manage to do it at the moment, and that's why we're seeing TaeJa muscle his way in. And yeah, as he just keeps pushing forward, the fungal growths have to be amazing. There was a good fungal on some of those units there, but there's just too much infantry. Stephano losing the Ultralisks And as these Ultralisks gets taken down, there's more trying to retake their space, but there's just more and more infantry coming, ever closer, ever rallied across. More and more Marauders. The Ultras taking so much damage. They are starting to om-nom their way through. There's a stupidly high number of Medevacs as well, but it's the Infestors without the fungal growths. Of course, the Ultras can just get kited for so long. The good split on the army, and the final Ultra out on the field at the moment has been killed. Another one joining the battle, as we can see, but just TaeJa is just rallying across the map, picking off the Ultras as quickly as he can. Both players losing so much, but remember, all the while behind this, TaeJa, he's still got a nice, solid income. He's sliding down on the income of Stephano, but this game is just seeming to be never-ending. TaeJa, if he just gets the momentum swinging in his favour, this game is just balanced on such a knife edge at the moment. Both players trying to get out that critical mass of units where they can overpower a force, and has TaeJa now done it? He's going to try and knock out this 4th base again. It's not looking good for Stephano at the moment. The hatchery about to fall incredibly low. It is going to get sniped off, and that means Stephano is a base down on his opponent, soon to be 2 bases down, and this is allowing TaeJa just to produce so much. The Ultras still trying to whittle the way through, only 2 on the field at the moment, 3 more on the way out, but they're just getting picked off one at a time. The Ultras are not scary without the fungal growths. The Ultras cannot close up the distance easily and on them through the infantry, but this is looking very good now for TaeJa. He's still piling forward. He's trying to deal with this. The Zergling count getting lower. The Ultra count getting really low, soon to be non-existent. And just one at a time, single file Ultras not able to deal with this much infantry. 3-3 upgrades done on both sides. Who is going to be able to take this? Well, Stephano, he's not giving up without a fight, but there's still just so many Marauders. The Medevac count at 11, remember. Such a high healing potential. The Ultras slowly getting whittled down. The stims being used so effectively. Another Ultralist goes. Stephano losing just shy of 9,000 more resources than that of TaeJa. And of course, so much more gas as well. And that's the big problem. It's the additional gas income that Stephano doesn't have after losing this 4th base. And also his 6th assimilator. But as the infantry slowly pushes forward, Stephano gives the congratulations and well done there to TaeJa. Brilliant play. So, I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did like the video, leave a cool comment and of course subscribe. And I hope to see you all tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thanks for watching. I'm Madals. Bye for now.